Morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day or afternoon if it's after lunch. At this time, I want to make sure that you have gone to classroom, which makes sense if you're watching this video, and that you have gone to your atmosphere, notes, and lab. At this time, as you are bringing up that document, I just want to remind you that there is an Edpuzzle video posted for homework due by Friday, and you need to make sure that you are finishing your biome stations by Friday. Those biome stations, you can find them in the back on the Lost and Found organized by stations on clipboard. So please make sure you are doing them during OP if necessary. We are going to be continuing this lab. We will be doing activity 3. You've already done activity 1, where we learned that there is the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. Down low by the troposphere, where there's lower altitude, there is more pressure and higher density. Up high by the exosphere, there is lower density, lower pressure, and which means you are at a higher altitude. If I go down to our research station, we learned that the atmosphere is like an envelope of gas, and the atmosphere is going to be important because it protects us from the sun and meteors and keeps the earth at a good temperature and it provides the air that we are going to breathe. Remember that the atmosphere is going to be made out of more gases than just oxygen. In fact, there's more nitrogen than there is actually oxygen in our atmosphere. There's 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 0.04% carbon dioxide, and 1% other gases. Water vapor is also going to play a major role in our atmosphere. Our next step for today is that we are going to be doing a virtual lab. At this time, I want you to please click on this link, and the lab will pop open. Please make sure you read the instructions throughout. So, the first thing that I want you to notice is that the first instruction says to find the red slider button. And the red slider button is going to be set to a specific altitude at a given time. Then you will hit launch and record your data. So I'm going to go back to Glencoe, and I'll notice that my first altitude is 0. So I'm going to go to Glencoe, and since my first altitude is 0, right here, I can see my red slider button is set to 0. I am then going to record my density, which is 100, my pressure, which is 101,300 pascals, and a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. So if you look back at my chart right now, I have recorded that information. So I have 101,300 pascals, temperature of 15 degrees Celsius, and a density of 100. What I haven't figured out is my layer. So if I go here, I can see that across the row, if I go across, I would be in the troposphere. So I have already recorded that I am in the troposphere. The way that I knew that this had to be no phenomenon was, see here how the show phenomenon is gray? Well, that gray means that there is no phenomenon at that level. So if we go back to our chart, I would have filled in no phenomenon. And we now have to do layer altitude of 5 kilometers. So I'm going to go to Glencoe, and I will adjust my red slider to an altitude of 5 kilometers. And you'll see that this launch button lights up. So I'd click launch. And you will see that the numbers here change. So you would have to record these numbers. So I recorded density of 60.7, a pressure of 54,048, and a temperature of negative 18 degrees Celsius. So I did that. I have a density of 60.7, a temperature of negative 18 degrees Celsius, and a pressure of 54,048. So I now just have to figure out what layer I'm in. So if I go here, I'll take that line and I'll go all the way across. And what I'll notice is that I am still in the troposphere. So I would go back and I would fill in troposphere. Now here, this time for the phenomenon, you'll see that show phenomenon is present. So you would click show
weather-related phenomena, such as storm clouds and short-term changes in pressure and temperature, exist relatively near Earth's surface in the troposphere.
Needs to say, you would record in phenomenon present, weather, and a little bit of notes about the weather. As a reminder, remember, if you need to, listen to this a second time for the instructions. You can also read the instructions. When you are done with this chart, please fill in the answer to the questions, and please make sure that you do your homework if you are done early, or continue on to activity 4.